G'day viewers, let me try something here. Finally made it back on here. Few technical bloody issues just to drive me nuts. But anyway, we made it. Here I am. Finally made it back on here. Oh, here we go. Bloody issues just to drive me nuts. But anyway, we made it. Down. Here I am. That's no good. Oh, here we go. Bloody issues. Just to drive me nuts. Oh, here. Anyway, we made it. Down. Here I am. That's no See, good. Never ending. I'm trying to deal with this. Got back. Gotta. Oh, God, I don't know. What am I going to do? Hang on. See, never ending. I'm trying to deal with this. Got back. Gotta. Oh, God, come on. Hang on. See, never ending. I'm trying to deal with this. Got back. Come on. Oh, this is driving me nuts. Turn this one off. Had it going quite okay before, and now it doesn't want to work. So all you're getting is what I'm getting back. Turn this one off. Had it going quite okay before. Now it doesn't want to work. So all you're there we go. Now we might get somewhere with it. Oh, Jesus. This is the sort of crap I've been putting up with. Anyway, let's get started. Welcome to Matto's Adventures, where it all began. Oh, breathe. Here we go. Just have a Leo. I'll restart what I was trying to do just before all this sort of started. My little green screen from back there. See if this works. I will soon find out. And yeah, well, you probably like the little sign right behind me. That actually came from Phuket in the Expat Sports Bar quite a few years ago when I first went there to do a bit of scuba diving. And it hasn't started yet. Okay, we'll try again. And yeah, it's all about me. Yeah, we're right, yeah. I've been running around with like a headless chook there, Larry. But anyway, but we managed to get there. Now, this ain't working properly. All I wanted to do was have a little background. I think a few would like that little one there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, here we go. It's working. Yeah, well, I'll move over a little bit. You can see it all. A couple might actually recognise the food there, but more so where it was from. But with that, yeah, welcome to another adventure on my behalf. Sorry about the delay. When things go wrong, it will usually go wrong. Anyway, that's another one from Phuket. I'm trying not to get distracted by, I can tell a story about all the photos that I've taken that I've actually put on here, and I'll probably run out of time for that as well. But with that, all goes back to my first actual trip was way back in the day. I went to Vanuatu and dived on the President SS Coolidge. And from there, that was a good trip. Got smashed before we actually got on a second plane because we got to Sydney. That was about 5 o'clock in the morning to do an international flight over to Port Vila, then from Port Vila to Santos into Luanville. So with that, yeah, you might recognise that place there. With that, that was my actual first trip, but then that was only the precursor to all the nonsense and rubbish, and I shouldn't say nonsense and rubbish, but all the things that happened for the next preceding 10 plus, 11 plus years. And that's probably basically where a lot of my adventures started. And from there, I started travelling through at the request of a friend of mine who dragged me over to Koh Samui. And that was like, I needed a break from what went on due to my parents, mostly my mother. Charlie's Bar, I found out where that has actually moved to. So when I get back to Bangkok, that's where we'll go. yeah, and that's what it's like in when you get there. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah, so anyway, so out of that, when I come back, that was a precursor to a lot was going to happen in the future. And mate actually dragged me out Cambodia, very early days. And from there, I just travelled a bit. It was in my face, first time travelling overseas. Yes, you got to love those 50-cent beers, grouse. And from there, I sort of didn't know what to expect. Some might recognise that lovely ghost tower. Mr. Thailand might, but I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So from there, I basically sort of got over it. Done a little bit of scuba diving. Didn't know anything about Thailand whatsoever. And from there, I loved it so much over there. Drank myself silly. Had a few little adventures and whatnot. Think of it, I probably did it the first time, just trying to get my head out of it. I didn't want to get too involved with a lot of the bar scene type things, but that's where my mate was at. I wonder who that is. Still, 7 years later. Yeah, and from there I made a trip because he took over another friend as well, and we loved it. All of us, especially me, I loved it so much, I ended up going back to Koh Samui again. Within, I think, 3 months. And from there, all jumping, happening, everything was... But what I liked about Koh Samui, it was not in your face. And that was the best part. That's in Jom Tien and Pattaya. And from there, I started to learn what was going on, explored quite a fair bit, and enjoyed it really a great deal. And I learned how not to pay as to what most guys were doing, getting ripped off. So with that, my first trip did cost around, just the flights and accommodation only, cost $3,400 plus my expenditure. And from there, I went back the second time. Price went down. I paid $2,700 for my second trip. And with that, that was flights and accommodation, still at the same Kirikoan Boutique Resort in Koh Samui. And from there, I went back the third time. The third time, I stayed for 23 days. I took $1,700 and I came back with $300. And that was still including accommodation and flights, because I researched a lot of that and got stuck right into it and had a lot of fun and really got a good deal on a return flight. And then from there, I just explored Koh Samui from there, everywhere you could find, right through, right across. So that was really, really good. Hope you enjoyed my little slideshow back there, partner, with one of the Ladyboy shows, Alcazar, I think it was. A couple of mates might remember going there in Pattaya. That's one of the bars there. But anyway, yeah, so that was sort of the precursor there. I did spend a couple of years just exploring that island alone. Then it did get a bit boring, so I did, from there, start travelling. Yeah, it should look a bit familiar there, Mr. Larry. I'll just do something here. And from there, I turned around and I just started exploring more and more. I did take a couple of trips over to Phuket, and that's where I done a bit more diving. Actually ran into one of the guys there that he was actually worked here in Melbourne. He was a police officer, and not far from where I worked. That's where he was based, out of the Forensic Science Laboratory. So with that, we turned around and I chatted to him for a while. Done me a really good deal on all the diving I done. I didn't actually pay for my first dive, the gear and whatnot, but I did pay for it. But I recommended everybody to go to Aussie Divers in Phuket. Great place. Darren Gaspari, he's the guy to go to. And from there, I just get rid of this nonsense on here. Oh, what the hell's going on here? From there, yeah, another great little one there. That was her first trip to Bangkok. Yeah, so from there, I started exploring more and more and more. Went around to quite a few different places. This current one there is one of the temples there in Koh Samui. From there, I explored a bit of Bangkok. One friend I did have, she took me right up to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Piao, all around there, Doi Satap. That's one of the big temples up there, and also where the King's Palace is. Summer Palace, or should I say Summer Residence. And that's not showing up quite as good as I hope, but anyway. So, yeah, and this is all thanks to, hang on, do I get this right or not? StreamYard. That's who I'm using this through. So it seems to be working quite well. But anyway, yeah, from there, I enjoyed it so much that I went along and just kept on exploring right through Bangkok. I spent quite a few months going through Bangkok, learning and looking at everything. I didn't mind Koh Samui, but I think after a few years and traveling every 4 months and spending at least 21 to 28 days in Koh Samui, I think you can only see so much. Basically I come down to I could get on a scooter and just ride around. That's not a bad bar, the Reggae Bar. You'll see someone there in the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah. So anyway, we won't say too much about her, but with that, you can ride around that whole island. You got Fisherman's Village, Bay Put, Mae Nam, Natong, also quite a few other places as well. Lamai, spent many nights there in Lamai, especially on the weekends. I don't know if they still have it, but with that, on the weekends, they have a weekend market. They shut down the whole intersection main street area and just have all stalls there. Obviously, you can't really do it right now, but that was really good. And you just get there, all the cheap eats, food, entertainment. They even had a stage set up where they would actually have entertainment. And it was really good. And I loved it there. And just go up to a few of the bars. We're still on the reggae, inside the Reggae Bar there. That was a really good place, just around the back behind the lake there in Chuang Lake. So I've got to remember all these things. So with that, I did enjoy a lot of that. But just you can only ride around it and see so much so often, and that's when I started exploring Bangkok. I did go to Bangkok a few times, but then prior to that, I should say, I ended up doing a little bit in Phuket. And Phuket is a very touristy place, but you can have lots and lots of adventures there. I don't think so there, Jetty, Mr. Jet Weapon, because there are certain stories. They say you can't bar find the girls from Hooters, but yes, you can when you know the right way to go about it. So with the picture just there at the moment, what are we up to? We're up to this one. Yeah, the one just before was at the Curaçao Boutique Hotel. Now what do we got here? Probably still got one photo that never came out, never registered. But anyway, doesn't matter. We'll get to the next one. So with that, these are the beaches on Koh Samui, pretty much like Phuket. But as you can see just there, they're not quite in your face. And this is all done right throughout the whole year, peak season, non-peak season, hot weather, cold weather, rain. I've been through the whole lot there. And what you see the beaches are like there, that's what they are. They did actually go through a really bad storm a couple of years ago, I think it was, and washed away a lot of the beach and sand. It actually had flooding right up. They had a king tide and come right up onto the decking there, which you saw just above. And yeah, it can get pretty gruesome up there. But like everything, they're pretty good at it, and they just turn around and deal with it, and they'll get it back. Unfortunately, I don't know what it's like now. I look at it and think, yep, it's still a good place to go to. Still like to explore. There's always plenty. You got the Full Moon Bar there, so I spent a bit of time there as well. Lots can happen there. That's where a mate had a bit of fun there. You've also got the Lucky Mother Bar right there, which is not far from the hotel I stayed there at the time. I think I stayed at about 9 different hotels on Koh Samui. So these pictures are all going to go all over the place. So there's some lucky buggers coming, and you'll probably see some unlucky buggers that are going home. That's always probably the hardest part when you leave. So with Phuket, I did take a few people over there. I think there's Shawnee, Mr. Jet Weapon. You're one of your favourite drinks, I think. I don't know. What do you reckon? Good? Yeah, always go a good deal there on any of them. And there's me just relaxing at one of the restaurants there, overlooking the bay there in Koh Samui. Yeah, so in Phuket, did take a few guys over there. One managed to get there for the first time, Kirikoan Boutique Hotel, and it was pretty wide-eyed, and it was a typical newbie. He just hadn't seen anything like that before, and it was hilarious. Chiang Rai Hot Springs. Don't put your hand in the water, you'll lose your skin. It's boiling hot water. They cook in that water straight out of the ground. And from there, he sort of settled down once we got to it, and he settled in a bit. He began to loosen up and just sort of not react to everything he saw, being his first time overseas. And, yeah, so with that, he turned around and he enjoyed himself. I think, as all newbies do, everything can be so in your face, but he learned to deal with it, and he actually quite enjoyed it. Persat Waterfall, Chiang Rai. And, yeah, and he enjoyed it so much. And I think, like a lot of people, once you go there once, and especially when you don't know anything, you go with people that do know, it just makes things a lot better. And I always maintain that. So with that, a lot of stories can be said and told and done. I think with the guys that were in Phuket, we done a lot of travelling around there, enjoyed. One actually got his diving certificate there. We managed to get that, so that was really good. These are temples up in Chiang Mai, back at Chiang Mai, Piao. And from there, we all settled in and had a good time. The story behind Jetty getting there, or Jet Weapon getting there, that was a bit of a stuff up, but he managed to get there. Credit to him. He done a really good job of getting there, and it was really good. So with that, he sort of come to grips with what it was all about. That's up in one of the friends' house, behind the houses there, paddy field. And it was sort of a bit smoky-ish at the time. But anyway, yeah, from there, he settled down and started to enjoy himself. It's like, put your eyes back in there, Jetty Weapon. It's just how it is. And from there, he enjoyed himself, found some really good places to eat. We stopped in Kamala for, I think it was for 4 nights. Correct me on that. I can't quite remember exactly how many days we were there, but we were there and enjoyed that so much, just having a chill-out little session, seen a few of the sites, found a really good beach restaurant, and that's in the Tong, and enjoyed that. I still owe you a couple of those things there, Larry. But anyway, that's. I wouldn't go to the big one, but I would definitely have any one of those. And even you got the king prawns there. You can see that. I'm actually looking at the wrong screen. I should be looking at the correct one. So I'm watching it on YouTube and through StreamYard. But anyway, it comes through about 5 seconds later on YouTube. Grouse Pools, that was at the dive shop we went to. They actually had a dive shop behind all that, so that was really good. Magnificent resort there. They've actually moved from there, so this is going back near on 9 years ago. Some of these pictures, so they're all not concurrent, but as you can see, I always recommend, if you're going to go there to Koh Samui, find a dive resort. Well, you can see mates having a bit of a play around with a little bit of the fountain there, and always enjoy. This is still on Koh Samui. So with that in Phuket, the Smiles Beach Bar Restaurant, really fantastic. I think we spent quite a fair bit of, that's a mummified monk on Koh Samui. We spent quite a fair bit of time at that particular little beach restaurant. They looked after us, and we made sure we enjoyed ourselves, and we made sure we paid for it as well. When you get service and you get quality service and quality food, you don't mind paying for it, but then you also appreciate it by giving that extra tip. I think we went back there about 3 or 4 times we were there, and they knew we were coming. When we found out, they'd see us all walking down, and they enjoyed it. That's the Kirrakayan. It's off the beach there in Koh Samui. And you can imagine all that beach, everything was all washed away, and the water was up on that level right at the very top. And that's all the water was running beside the pool. So that's how bad it was in Koh Samui at the time. Anyway, yeah, so from there, we did move into Patong, just around the corner from Bangor. We did have a pretty shitty hotel first up. That was didn't like it, and got very angry with them. Sort of the pictures they had just really didn't match what was on offer through the website. I did make a complaint, and they reckon they rectified it, but never got anything back out of it. It is what it is. That's the old man there. God bless him. Took him to Koh Samui. That was him on the rifle range. He reckons he could shoot a rifle. It was Dead-Eye Jack. But he had a blast, mate. He had an absolute blast. And funnily enough, that was, I think, about 6.5 years ago. Spider-Man does get out too. And he actually did remember it when I pulled out a blanket had Malaysian Airlines on it. And he actually remembered it. I do have a few other pictures and vids in particular, but another time. And from there, we went into Patong. Are we back again? I hope so. So we shall see what happens here. It looks like we're back. I'll soon see in a couple of minutes. I don't know. Come on. Show up on me. Show for me. Show for me. Come on. How do we do it now then? Continue to YouTube. Yeah, well, we'll see. Ah, dear me. What is going? I just don't know what's happening here. Unbelievable. Do we get something here or not? I don't know. Hang on. Looks like we're back. Not sure. I don't know. Oh, no. How are we going? We don't know. I can't even see where we're up to at the moment. What are we doing? I got no idea what's going on here. Oh, I give up. It's all just turned to crap again. I don't know what's going on here. Let's see what we try and do here. So anyway, that's from another YouTube channel. Hang on, what are we doing here? This is a computer playing up. Holy moly. Looks like it's live. We're down to 2. Yeah. Oh, come on. Stop being a pain in the bum. What's it doing? I got no idea. Oh, this is just going. This is just great. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Yep, this has just turned to crap. What do we got here? That's YouTube. I don't want. Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh, unbelievable. We've got this up and running again, so that's fine. Hang on, where are we? We've still got these going in. So, yeah, I've just got to do a couple of things here. It looks like we're back. I'm hoping so. But anyway, yeah, so I'll just deal with what I can see from here. Yeah, we're going backwards again. Anyway, so yeah, so from there, we all liked that trip there, and we got through it all really well. So I think my internet's just been. Sorry, I just had a quick look. It's still there, but it's just. I think it's the computer, the laptop I'm using. Yeah. Now I've lost track because all this nonsense. But anyway, from there, we're back. Good. Still, I'm happy. So with that, I turn around and we done quite a few little side little trips there. We ended up in Bangalore, just off Bangalore Road, the Sierra Grande, as I said. Yeah, you don't want to look at my ugly head. And from there, we enjoyed ourselves so much. Went into up and down Walking Street, a few of the bars along there, and sort of just chilled out quite a fair bit. And it was really good. And I think you can't ask much more than that for a group of guys. And then from there, we flew up to Bangkok and then went down to, Shorty finished his trip. He went to, we had to go back home. I think he spent 9 days, thereabout-ish. I think you can answer that there. And then Mr. Jet Weapon. And from there, we enjoyed ourselves. And that was all good. But from there, we ended up doing another trip, and there was a few of us went into we went to Bangkok, and lovely little Mr. Jet Weapon, he turned around and he had a second go at it, and he had a blast there as well. We did spend all up on the second trip 5 nights in Bangkok, and that was another eye-opener for Shawnee. He enjoyed himself a great deal, so that was really good. So he was a bit more relaxed this time, and he let his hair down. All I can say is, if you really, really have to, don't ever get into a game with him. He's so competitive. Yeah, get up there. I don't think he realised half the time I was knocking that little beer cart around when he was playing Jenga. I think Larry knows all about Jenga, and he was just so competitive. You know, we were just having a game, having a few drinks after hours, and then Shawnee just got so competitive with the Jenga side of things, and he didn't like, or put it this way, he does not like losing. And you get so far and you give it a little bit of a tap, you know, a bit of a nudge on the side of the cart, and everything starts shaking, and oh my God, does he go nuts trying to bloody, win. And the girls are pretty well adapted to that. So that was really good. And here we go, spastic again. So with that was all right. He had a really good time there. Couldn't wait. So from there, I think he's more hanging out to go talk around the Pattaya side of it. That was, I think, about a week or so later. Well, probably not quite a week later. And from there, we ended up down there. It was Larry, myself, and Jet Weapon, and had a really good time down there. He did want me to mention when he went to Khao San Road. Now, is he talking about Khao San Road? He hasn't really mentioned a great deal, so he's been a bit on the quiet side. So with that, he turned around and he just sort of went in there, eyes open again, because being in Bangkok, yeah, there are so many places that you could go see and do a lot of things, drinking, eating, sightseeing, traveling around. It's all quite relatively easy. Down in Pattaya, it's easy. You just get in a song tower, jump on them, and around you go. Looks like these are going to just go around and around in circles for the time I'm chatting. But with that, we all got down there and had a great time. From there, we spent, I think it was about six or 7-ish days from there. No, that might have been, about 7 days we were there for. And with that, he absolutely loved it down there, because Shawnee likes a bit of the old drinky poos and a bit of the old competitiveness. That got the better of him. And he had another blast down there. And, you can turn around and sit there and have a drink, be entertained, one for a better word, or you can sit down there and entertain yourself and have a lot of drinks and have quite a lot of fun. It all comes down to what you really want. A lot of guys I do know don't like going to those sort of places by themselves, because eventually the girls will work them out. I did stop going there. Well, I'll go there with friends and so forth, but I look at it, yeah, they're there just to go and have a little bit of fun, have a few drinks, then bugger off and go do whatever else you want. You can only do that so many times. And that's probably one of the reasons why I started traveling and exploring a lot more. And the other place I go to is, he didn't want me to say, but I will say it, Cambodia. But I started to explore there as well. But I still spend my time between the two, which is mostly have a jump off stop over in Thailand, depending on wherever they are or who I'm with. And then from there, I'll organise them. I'll spend an X amount of extra time over in Cambodia. So with that, it's really good. I like both places. At times, I think, knowing what I know now, newbies, it's overwhelming. Then they get used to it, sort of. And then from there, they just don't know when to actually sort of step back a little bit and enjoy themselves without being overwhelmed by the aggressiveness of some of the girls. And one of the other chats I had, there was another guy who said you just got the better of him, and he didn't enjoy it anymore. And I don't blame you. That sort of happens a great deal. The girls sort of size you up straight away and try and work you out. And they do a pretty good job of it. And they go from there on what they can extricate from you. Because to them, it's a business to extricate money from them to put in take out of your pocket to put into their pocket. And that's where I sort of draw the line on that. I think, yeah, I'll go there. I'll make it quite clear. I'm there to have a few drinks, enjoy, and whatever else. If I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to be one that makes that decision, not them. And there is another channel, Thailand Band, actually did talk about that a little bit. And if you do the right thing, you can have a good night. If you don't do the right thing and you sort of arc up a bit much, you sort of get left by yourself and you pay the price at the end of the night. You just get your bar tab and you bugger off. So with that, you turn around, you just travel around and enjoy. I think Shawnee really liked some of the places. I don't know what it's going to be like. I still get questions from quite a few guys. When? Like everything, don't know. If everything goes okay, I suppose. I'm not going to say good, not going to say bad. I'm just going to go borderline okay, because who knows where all this nonsense is going to end up. And from there, maybe we can travel sometime next year. The big hope is the planes will get up in the air this year. Maybe so. I don't know. Your guess is going to be as good as mine. Later on, I'm not expecting anything till sometime next year, and I don't even see that as a possibility just yet. I think there's still a lot to be done. Thailand still needs to do a lot more before I'll feel confident enough to go there. But even though they're having the sandbox opening up and doing a lot of things for them there, who knows? The vaccination, it's probably about the only thing that's going to happen until they get that all sorted out and everybody's got you'll have a little travel card, government travel, whatever it is, on the app or however they're going to do it. I don't know just yet. They're still a couple of weeks away from sort of getting that all done. Handsome man. Yeah, so Khao San Road, in Bangkok. Had a great time there. I did find out one thing when I was with Larry and Jet Weapon. I don't like San Miguel. They had it on special. We bought 3 of them. And I think, for my liking, not a very good beer. It was just the way it goes. And, we just got the beer on a time. Crowded, can be overly crowded. You can have a good time depending on which bar you go into. Shawnee got rocking on and enjoyed it. We end up moving along and going to another place because San Miguel, and we were basically standing right next to the speakers pumping out music. I mean, 300 million decibels. Sort of gets to you after a little while. So we moved up and down Khao San Road, had a bit of a good time there. I think Shawnee liked it. For me, it was just another one. It was sort of really slowing down for memory for me. So we started looking for somewhere else. So we ended up going back around to, and I think for memory, it was Soi 23, Shawnee's favourite bar with the Jenga girls. I think he remembers those ones. Well, Larry and I definitely do. So, yeah. And that's where his competitive came out and enjoyed. So I'm going to be jumping all over the place here because I'm still looking at all the pictures and whatnot coming up. So out of that, you can go there and have a great time. I'm trying to avoid talking a lot about Cambodia because I had a little bit of a discussion earlier on with Jet Weapon. And he doesn't want to really hear too much because, unfortunately for him, he hasn't been there yet. But so Larry and I decided to give him a bit of a shit stir and a push on. I will talk about it. There's plenty of places to go. Larry's been to Phnom Penh. He's been to Siem Reap. I think Larry had a good time at both those places, just sort of chilling out and enjoying himself. In Phnom Penh, that's where we end up having probably one of the shortest plane flights I've ever had in a jetliner. That only took 35 minutes. And surprise, surprise, Larry Good old leisure suit Larry. Doesn't take long to fall asleep anywhere. I think within 10 minutes of the plane taking off, he was dead to the world. And didn't take long because within another 20 minutes or 25 minutes, we're on our descent into the airport. Wake up, Larry. We're landing. What? That quick? It was only a 35-minute total from the time we started taxiing to landing was 35 minutes. That was probably one of the shortest flights I've ever had. And I think from memory, from Melbourne to Tasmania was about 40 to 45 minutes. I thought that was short. This one was so short, it was quick. Now, I know there are a lot more shorter ones out there, but it is what it is. So, get back on to Mr. Jet Wetman. Him just enjoying himself. We travelled quite a few places. He didn't like spicy food, but I think he did come around to it a little bit and he enjoyed it. Not too spicy. He had a little bit, Nitnoy. And from there, he got accustomed to it, and there was a few dishes there that he did like, and he got through. He actually enjoyed them quite a great deal. But like everybody, if you're not used to spices in Thailand, they use a lot of them. So from there, him and Larry sort of chilled back and enjoyed their stay. Got down to Pattaya. We'll just continue on Pattaya for a little bit. And on his trip down there, he had his younger son into the Muay Thai, and we're looking for some good quality equipment for him. As we did find some, we'd done a bit of walking. I actually saw on another YouTube on a couple of bars we stopped at when we were walking before we end up buying some stuff from one of the last places we ended up at on second or third road. I can't remember which one. I think it was second road actually. And so that was pretty good. I think you also the Happy Hippo just on Soy Bacau, the pink restaurant. I think if you remember that, we enjoyed those. The restaurant there. They're still trading. Surprise, surprise. I did spot them on another video I saw a few days ago. I thought, yeah, they're still doing okay. Good Western food, good Thai food, and I think there was two friends, I think. Not quite sure, I can't remember, but they were one English and one Australian, and both married to the locals, and they opened up this restaurant, and it was great meals. I think both of Larry and Jet Weapon can agree. We went there often, and we enjoyed ourselves. It's the old man again, enjoying his trip there in Koh Samui. Yeah, so from there, we attacked a few of the bars and enjoyed some of the nightlife, some of the scenery. And the funniest part, I said to Sean, or Mr. Jet Weapon, when you get there, try and acclimatise to the weather. Don't have your air conditioning down to 16 degrees when it's 40 degrees outside, because you go inside, you get the shivers, you're cold and everything. So this particular day, I said, yep, time to go, we're going to go. Got him out of his room. I actually knocked on his door. Yep, ready to go. Walked in there, it was like a bloody icebox. He walked outside and he just started sweating. His glasses fogged up. I said, mate, it's hot out here. I said, Larry and I aren't sweating, but he was, because he didn't acclimate. Wasn't getting his body acclimatized to the temperature, the humidity down there, well, in Pattaya. And so that was hilarious watching him just sweat away. And he said, mate, is it just me? He said, it is. Look at me. Not sweating at all. I've acclimatized quite. And so that was just funny watching him. But will he learn? I'm not quite sure. But we'll see. The next time, whenever that happens, that'll happen. From there, we spent quite a bit. We went around Walking Street, up and around there, Soy Bacau, Soy Lenki, all around those sort of places. I know at the moment they are in a lot of floods. They're having their monsoon season at the moment, and it's really hitting them. At certain places there, it's right up to their waists. So that doesn't do a great deal of good for anybody there, especially right at this particular time for what little tourists or expats or locals that are living there, Koh Samui, Soccer Man. And it's just pretty hard to try and swallow. They're going through a lot of bad times there, and it's just making it very hard to for them to try and earn a living. And a lot of people are stepping up and doing some great stuff down there. But with that, they'll survive. What we go back to, I don't know. It'll be a case of the new NDITV. They're seeing, I watched a few of their vids, and they're saying, you don't want to drink that stuff. Oh, that'll rip hairs off your chest. NDITV, they done a video I watched a bit of, and a lot of places just aren't going to be there anymore. They can't afford to pay rent, and they're not getting anything in return. There are a few bars and restaurants that are surviving by the skin of their teeth because the guys are using their own personal money to pay to have the bar or restaurant open. So the Viking Bar, Soy Mango in Koh Samui. And from there, they're the ones you really want to go back and look after. And there's a little gecko. It is really hard for a lot of people at this point in time. So when the time comes, pepper, absolutely 2 lots of different pepper, all growing off the same tree. That was in Koh Samui. And it's just going to be one of those things, what's going to be new, what's going to be there, what's not going to be there. I think there's going to be a lot of places that are just not going to be there anymore because you can only sustain the way it is for so long. And unfortunately, I think a lot is going to change. It'll be a new lot of exploration for a lot of people. For the likes of me, haven't been there for a while, and same with the other guys and so many other people. Some people there just going home. A lot of tears on those flights. Won't talk about Suvarnabhumi Airport. They put up their little glass barrier to stop people from jumping over the barrier and trying to commit suicide. But anyway, from there, the new norm. Who knows what the new norm's going to be? There's something for you there, Shawnee. A bit of Singha. Nice beer. That or the Thai export, the Changi export. Just got a Leo at the moment. Not much around. Anyway, so how the fun will be, who knows? But having fun is probably the more important part. How you're going to be, how it's all going to end up, who knows? It'll just be a new type of exploring, a new deal for a lot of people. When things open, okay, they say they're going to open, but when it does finally open up, we are allowed out of this country here. It still will be depending on what the situation is in the countries wherever you go, wherever you travel to. And it will come down to you will have to be fully vaccinated with proof of it. Having quarantine and tests, that's what's going to stop a lot of people from going there. Yeah, I think a lot of people remember what this place still there. With that, I'm still looking forward to going there and exploring. It'll be like new, but not really new. It'll be a case of seeing what's not there from what I can remember over all the 9 years of traveling through there. So who knows what's going to happen? It's just going to be a case of wait and see for a lot of them. I did like Charlie's Bar. That was on Soy 11 on the little side street there. They were really good. Pop in, quick beer, buy your beers as you go. Great chat as you're passing through. Yet again, that's what people are like when they get to Thailand. Oh, wow. Ooh, really good. Phuket Fantasy, that was the silver room, gold room on one there, and that was at one of their shows. If you go to one of the shows there, Phuket Fantasy, if you have a friend who's a local or a Thai national, go with them and get them to explain what the show's all about. And it's really good. It gives you a really good insight. So anyway, with that, traveling along, getting through there, seeing what will be, I don't know. there's just so many different stories. Sort of lost me train of thought when it turned to total crap. That picture was taken from the Foreign Correspondence Club in Cambodia, looking down. That's getting, I look like, renovated. So I'll be looking forward to going and seeing how that is. I thought they were pulling it down, but they weren't. They were renovating it. So that's on Riverside. Larry will know about that. He's been there. He knows who that is too. So, yeah, times have changed. Time got to move with it. How things will be, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's going to be a new exploration, the new normal, new thing. I think this my internet's really slow. It's probably about 10, 15 seconds behind. So I don't know what's happening there. It's stopped again. No, we're still going. It's just this computer's not doing the best of the best, I'd say. But with that, let's see if I can get it. Anyway, yeah, it stopped again. So if this keeps up, yep, 51:35. If it keeps up, I think I'm just going to end it because it's just not working properly. Yeah, it's doing the refresher thingy. Oh, dear me. It stopped. It's crashed. Oh, what do you do? Here we go. I don't know. It's froze again. What's happened? We've still got green, so it's the only way I can see it. Ice Cube. Oi, check out. Yeah, go bar. Not a good trip. Not a good trip. It just didn't work for me. Issues again.